Greetings, warlocks, hunters, titans, and all the ships at sea. It is time once again for a happy hour from the tower, and I am your host, T. Morris.
And you will find no mercy in me!
Not tonight, Bungie. Not tonight. And over to my left.
I'm Nick Kelly.
Follow them to glory.
Flash from the past, right? Flash from the past. Gotta have that. And sitting across from me.
I'm Brandon Kelly.
Your invader's down, but so is the other team! No one's left!
No one's left. And finally, all the way from the Carolinas.
Rondo fan.
I take it you have no moral objections to brute force.
He never does. He never does. That's the thing that we do.
You're welcome for that one.
You're welcome. Yeah. Well, hang on a minute.
You're welcome. Shut up.
There we go. Okay. I think we're just gonna jump right into it, guys. So,
You know what we're here to talk about.
yeah.
It's Nerf or nothing.
Thank you. I was hoping you'd get one of those.
TD0013. That's all for you.
It's Nerf or nothing.
We got to talk about what happened. Pretty much, Bungie released this week at Bungie, and then the community reacted.
Unleash the fury!
So
That happens every week, let's
Can
be
I
honest.
say on the topic of Fury,
go right ahead.
it's the middle of May.
It's
You
May.
still have your Christmas lights up.
Oh my God.
Stop listening right now and go take them down. Thank you.
Wow! Oh my God!
It's a trap.
I don't know what this obsession is, but I mean, we'll just kind of roll with it. We'll roll with it. Yeah, the
They're
yes.
Easter lights now.
Yeah, exactly. Nick, they're
Easter
they're
stuff's on
Easter
clearance.
festive lights.
Shut your face.
Oh my God!
Here we go.
My
Okay.
space remains open for business. I will
So
not
by
shut
the
it.
4th of July, are they Patriot lights? What are we doing
Yes,
here?
they're
Yep,
Patriot
there
lights.
you go.
They're
There you
absolutely
go.
Patriot
There you
lights.
go.
Oh,
Absolutely.
and get this, everybody. TD is in chat, so he heard it.
Yes,
Yes,
yep.
yes, TD. This one's for you.
It's Nerf or nothing.
Thank you, everybody. So,
Best TED Talk ever.
all right. So, yeah, we heard from Bungie, and it's. I mean, again, the reactions from the community were pretty one-sided.
Y'all jokers must be crazy.
But it is what it is. So let's go on ahead and let's open this up. For those of you who are listening and for some reason didn't check the TWAB, and yes, big shout out to the Big Marvinsky. I did read the TWAB. I'm starting to read the TWAB. So back off. Just back off. And
You're welcome. Shut up.
and in this particular TWAB, they talked about adjustments that they were making. Oh dear God, what did Drafty say? I hope they turn my wave splitter into a super soaker. Oh my God. So
I have the list if you want to go down the actual list of things.
let's do that. I'm going to go on ahead and leave chat open. Nick, lead us in. What were some of the things that happened to our weapons?
Leave the whisper for last.
Oh, so I'll go from the bottom up instead of the other way
Wait,
around.
is it going to go through the list and we're going to comment afterwards? Or are you going to go through one at a time and we have something to say?
I think what we should do is
How long a rant do you need?
for me it's just this.
Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
That was Glad. Just so you know, that was Glad right there. I've got his tweet
If
rant.
you had a Ben Stein one, like where it's just 0 F's given, that would be me. Like there's none of this that actually ticks me off.
You
Which is
only
what,
have one of these.
I'm going to be the dissenting opinion here.
Yeah.
Well, no. What we're going to do is we're going to have an educated talk. Believe it or not, chat, we are going to have for the four of us knuckleheads, we're going to have an educated talk about these changes and about what's going on. So Nick, go on ahead and leave us in, and then Obi Thermal, we're gonna talk about it after everything is read off. So
Would
go
you
for
like
it.
to start with weapons or armor?
Let's start with weapons.
Let's start with weapons. All right, let's start with everybody's favorite, the Ace of Spades. All right, so what did they change? So Memento Mori is no longer like permanent. It ends if the weapon gets stowed. The PvP damage bonus was reduced to prevent 2 tapping guardians while wearing the one-eyed mask. And but Memento is active for 6 shots, up from 5.
So they turned it back into the original Memento Mori.
Pretty much.
No, that's the Ace of Spades. Like,
Yes,
I have it. I use
and-
it, and I don't care.
Yeah, but keep going because
Yeah, keep going, and then
resolve
because
this.
then we'll,
I thought you wanted all of them?
yeah. But we're saving Whisper for last for Brandon.
Lord of Wolves. Release of the Wolves is swappable, so you can control your output and your ammo consumption, because apparently you used to blow through your ammo very, very quick. But the PvE damage was reduced by 20%. The Sleeper Simulant.
Here we go. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Here we go.
Okay.
All right. Reduce the ricochet damage on bosses, and non-precision shots are more forgiving. Whatever that means. I don't know. And then the Whisper.
Brace. Take a breath. Okay, here we go.
So there's an increase to the amount of reserve ammo that you can carry, but the White Nail perk, instead of creating ammo, it now pulls from your ammo reserves. That's the one that Brandon's really super ticked about.
No, he's not the only one ticked about it.
Right. Well, you bozos have the floor.
Okay, so first off, I did want to, and in this podcast, usually in the podcast, I reserve reserve the chat for just the live show, and I edit it out. But I've actually opened it up. I want to get input from chat as we go, and I do want to point out something Nova did say, and yes, he is right. The two tapping is a one-eyed mask problem, not an Ace of Spades problem. So
That's what I was going to say.
Right, yeah. Well, there you
Fine,
go.
Can I tell you?
If you're more of a participant in my Discord, which there's a link in the there's a link in there, you could go on ahead and discuss that with Nova. But what do I know? So anyway,
can I tell you before you guys rant on?
Yes.
And it's not about Christmas lights.
Again.
I just wanted to point out you did a very, very excellent job editing episode 51. Sounded really good. I listened to it on the train.
Thanks.
Coming back home.
That was a good episode. If you haven't heard it, chat, that was where we sat down with Brandon O'Neill, the mocap and the voice of Aldrin Sov. Could not have been a nicer guy.
And I did send him the link for Toys R Me.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I get back a smiley emoji.
So going back, Drafty also says something here. Drafty says, I muted Glad due to that tweet. The way he said it was in bad taste. I do think Glad did kind of veer off into a real tasteless kind of. Here, I'll give you an example of one of his.
I didn't see it, so
This was one of his recent tweets. If I ever had two kids and one is successful and really good looking, I'm going to beat the crap out of him and drop him on his head, even the playing field for the dumb ugly one, instead of teaching the dumb ugly one how to better himself and make the most. Hashtag Nerf strats.
Wow.
That's. Yeah. Okay. Really, don't hold back. Tell us what you really think. But yeah, I mean, he kind of strayed into some serious dark territory in some of his other tweets. But let's break this down.
That wasn't dark.
No, that was the lighter one.
Oh,
so let's talk about weapons first, and then we'll get into armor. So Brandon, your thoughts on all these changes?
I feel like the Ace nerf was really unnecessary. Because no one used it as boss damage, and that's the whole point.
Wait, you're talking Whisper?
No, Ace.
No, Ace.
Oh, Ace. Yes.
Yeah.
No. Now remember though, this was less about the Ace of Spades as a gun, but the Ace of Spades when you've got the one-eyed mask on.
No.
You don't. You disagree with what Nova said.
Nerfing Ace. No, that he's right, but they're nerfing the damage bonus in PvP because of the one-eyed mask, and that's the one-eyed mask's fault, not the Ace of Spades' fault.
Right.
But I feel like them changing Memento Mori again is even more unnecessary. Because running around with Memento Mori is one of the best things ever. But I found the Luna's Howl and Not Forgotten nerfs also really unnecessary. Because you'd get killed by them, but those people worked to get them.
Right.
And, I mean, it's not the only thing that was killing in Crucible. But the Sleeper, that's fair. I completely agree with that one. It's kind of stupid.
Ron, what he said was, because Ron, just so you know, chat, and just so you know, out in the podcastville, Ron is having a tough time hearing Brandon presently. So I will translate. Ron, he basically said Sleeper Simulant. He's totally behind. He totally gets it. He totally gets it.
I can't remember the last time I saw someone use it in a raid. Honestly.
I've been raiding with Dan enough. That's a staple. You see, I see Whispers in the Last Wish. I see Sleepers in the Last Wish, and I'm constantly switching in and out between the two.
That's fair.
All right.
Lord of Wolves. Again, unnecessary.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. There was actually someone who tweeted to Bungie, we didn't ask for any of these changes.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna reserve some of my deeper thoughts about this whole thing after we talk about armor. But let's go on ahead and let's jump on over to Ron. Ron, what are your thoughts on all this?
Okay.
Back in D1, when Bungie made a nerf to an archetype, they would back it up with data, saying, here's what we've seen, this is where we're going to make a change. They haven't done that in D2. Okay, so that's gripe number one. Gripe number two, with the exception of Lord of the Wolves, they're nerfing guns that they set up for us to work to actually get. Right. So these are guns that we've made an effort to get. Every nerf so far, at least for Seasons of Opulence nerfs, have been guns that we have actually focused on obtaining. That's one
whisper.
Yeah.
Especially that whisper.
Okay. The other thing is they're nerfing the gun we got, specifically the perks that the reason why we got the gun. Right. Okay. So that's point number two. Point number three, they are penalizing people for becoming proficient in an aspect of the use of the weapon that they were promoting to begin with.
Yeah,
that's four.
This
okay?
This segues into what I wanted to talk about later.
And for instance, I'm not done talking. I'm not done. So for instance, Whisper of the Worm. Yeah. I don't use the gun. I never use it. I have it. I don't ever use the gun. Why? Because I can't capitalize on its perk, on the reason to use the gun, because I can't consistently hit crit shots with a sniper. For whatever reason, I'm getting old, whatever you want, for whatever reason, I can't do it. So for me, the gun is just a glorified sniper rifle. Okay. I prefer box breathing.
First off, coach, it's not you're getting old, you're getting seasoned. Okay, you're getting seasoned. You're like a fine steak. You're getting seasoned.
So here's some more salt. Then ready?
Go for it.
So that's ridiculous what they're doing. And to make matters worse, the perk in Whisper of the Worm is the same perk that we had twice in D1, and twice they took it away. So why did they bring it back if they realize, oh, wait a second, that's right, we messed up again. So this was a classic case of Bungie's two different groups, the activity designers and the weapons designers not working together, because their rationale is that the use of these weapons and gear will affect future gameplay based on what they've designed for us to go up against. So that's an issue that they need to resolve internally instead of penalizing the players.
Now, so here's
I'm almost done.
Okay, you're almost done.
But I'll stop for now.
Okay, you're gonna stop now. So here's my thing. In the TWAB, they say we're doing this to level the playing field and to make the Season of Opulence more of a challenge. My response to that would be then make the Season of Opulence harder. Don't take away these special things that make guns and armor, and I want to get to the armor changes in just a second. Don't take those away from us, because it will make the Season of Opulence easier. Make the Season of Opulence harder. You have proven time and again, Bungie, that if you want to make something hard, you will make it hard.
Yeah.
And we love that. We freaking love that. I mean, I'm just gonna own it, chat. Even with the cheese, 0 Hour was not easy, not by a long shot. That being said, it was some of the most damn fun I have had since D1. I mean, I haven't had that much fun since a mission in Rise of Iron, and all you guys know how I feel about Rise of Iron. So, I mean, yeah, and that was why I wanted that weapon so badly. The 0 Hour was great. It's hard, and people were telling me, T, this is way harder than Whisper of the Worm. And I went, but is it worth it? And they go, oh yeah, this is harder, but it's more fun. And I got it when I did the mission. The point I'm getting at is if they want Season of Opulence to be a challenge, make the actual challenge harder. Don't say, okay, we want to make this a challenge, so let's nerf some of the favorite weapons, because now I'm thinking, okay, what's next? Mm-hmm. I mean, seriously, what's next? Because you know what's next? Armor. Let's talk about armor. Or did you want to add to this?
You never got my opinion on Whisper.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we did get your opinion on Whisper.
You just cut me off.
Sorry. Okay. Well, then there we go.
The Whisper nerf makes it a regular sniper with triple tap.
So what you're saying is
it's nerf or nothing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the nerf ornament for the Whisper. Is what everyone's saying. But earlier in the season, or last season or whenever, Whisper was brought down to, I think, 9 shots in reserves.
Right.
And then that was from 20. From 20 shots since it came out in, like, what was it, Warmind?
Yeah.
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 So that was completely unnecessary. I don't know why they did that. And that was the whole...
But that rewarded the player that used the guns.
Yeah.
That nerf wasn't a nerf. If you were excellent with the gun, that has zero impact on you. For me, the person who thinks that crit shots, that there's all the more reason why Obi will never use the gun. Because now I don't even have the ammo to mess with and reload and pull in again. So I didn't use the gun.
Yeah, but
it was never in my loadout.
It's up to 18 now, just so that we can't generate more ammo. It's a heavy-hitting sniper with triple tap.
But it's just a sniper. It's not an exotic sniper.
It's a sniper with a good name.
And this is the thing. This is where I feel Bungie did us a disservice, because they're basically taking what makes these particular weapons exotic. Maybe not so much with the Ace of Spades now in retrospect, and in Nova's opinion, which I do agree with Nova.
Yeah.
But the Ace of Spades is still a good weapon. I still think it should be it shouldn't be penalized for damage.
They're
not
like
at all.
they're like, we're gonna make a Season of Opulence more challenging by making everything else a lot harder to do because we're getting rid of your favorite stuff.
Right. Now, granted, if they've got I also heard. Well, before we get into that. Let's Nick. Did you wanted to add something about this whole thing with the weapons?
I think the questions that I have work better after we discuss the armor also.
Okay, so let's go ahead and let's move into armor. Going ahead and let's talk about armor now.
Okay, I didn't write down too many of the specifics on the armor because I know basically it's all the ones that they targeted that are the ones that generate supers.
Yep.
Yeah. So the thought process behind nerfing the armor was that the experience is supposed to be teamwork. So your teammates are generating supers and you're working and communicating. And don't start. I'm not even finished yet, young man.
It wasn't me.
I know it wasn't you. Sorry. I don't want to call him old man. He'll get mad at me and kill me.
Look.
All right. So
Kelly.
Yep.
I'm telling you, Kelly. Back in my day.
Stay on target. I got it.
I know.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Hang on a minute.
Yep.
No, wait a minute.
Stay on target. Okay. Stay on target.
Let's do it.
All right. So for the pieces of armor that create super energy, there's diminishing returns. So basically like eating the same cheeseburger 10 times in a row. It's diminishing returns, right? You like it less?
Yeah, but you get free tickets to Buffett concerts. Go on.
The gain caps are reduced for parity, and then the other one that is specific is the Gwizinvest energy is reduced from 15% to 8%. So basically cut in half. But the big thing is the generating your own orbs, which I know you've coasted on, Brandon. I'm pointing on the podcast. Yeah, that's awesome. Where you can, depending on what you're running, from start to finish, just have endless supers. And I think that's what they're trying to make it into a team effort as opposed to an individual effort. Your thoughts?
Okay. And I want to talk about the skull of Dire Ahamkara. That was something that Marv coached me on to really master.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was starting to get it. And as far as it being a team effort, it was a team effort. I mean, case in point, this morning we it was the three of us. It was me, Marv, and Jenny. We were to finish the Shattered Throne, and it was a teamwork effort. Marv said, "I'm going to tether." Jenny, throw the rift. T, Nova Bomb, and that's exactly what we did. Boom, 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 and I threw my Nova Bomb, took out the 3 knights. My super was back, and he was like, "Clear ads." Jenny had her super back. She dropped another rift, started clearing ads. I had my other super. Boom, cleared ads, and then that just left our boss. We took care of the boss. It was a teamwork effort. There was nothing solo about it. And the thing is, that again is something that makes the skull exotic. The fact that if you get like a whole crap ton of multi kills, then you get your super back. That's what makes it exotic. Now, granted, I'm still getting my super back. I'm just not getting all of it back, and I'm sitting there going, That's not exotic.
That's the point of it.
That's the point of it is and I was starting to get pretty good at it. And granted, I was still having my time when I was like, oh, I just killed 3 people with a super. That sucks. But there were other times where I was getting void demolition again and again in Gambit and Prime, and it made me feel super. It made my super. But I mean, it was like I want to hang on to that. I want to hang on to that ability of being able because to me that was my effort for the team. I'm running Warlock, I'm running Voidwalker because I got the skull. And that means if someone says, T, do you have a super? If coach says, T, I need a super down for the for Reckoning, I'm like, here it comes, boom, bosses are down. T, I need one uphill, boom, it's going. Because the skull is working.
Yep.
And that is why I'm pissed, super pissed, that they just didn't make the Season of Opulence more difficult and just leave the exotics exotic. And that's where I feel like I feel like we've been shortchanged by Bungie. What are your thoughts on this?
I think it's really unnecessary. Like, the whole point of all of them is to have that synergy, is to be able to throw the ability that helps the team repeatedly. Because throwing a regular grenade isn't going to do nearly as much help to the team as a Nova Bomb or even a tether. Like, and having Orpheus Rig is the entire point of being a Night Stalker.
And the Orpheus Rigs have been around for a long time. Long time. Exactly.
And there's no point in getting rid of, like, you can barely pick up your own orbs. So throwing a tether or shooting a tether and then not getting most of what you're supposed to have back. The whole challenge of Orpheus Rig is being able to shoot the right place and get enough so you get the super back immediately.
And the challenge of the skull is to make sure that you kill enough people with one Nova. And then, because if you wound them, that's not the same as actually killing them. Yeah. You don't get the so there is that challenge. There's that added challenge.
And then Shards of Galanor.
I know a lot of people were upset about the Shards of Galanor. Yeah,
they don't give you your super back entirely. They're not supposed to. That's the point. They're just supposed to get some of it back so you have more progress. Basically, what people are getting out of these changelogs or what the update patch notes is, it's going to be the difference of wearing shards now and then just putting on regular arms after the patch.
Mm-hmm. Now, back in chat, Nova says problem is they don't have any other exotics that are actually usable aside from the super regen ones. Now,
that's a fair point.
Obi, do you think that's a fair point?
My feedback fence.
No, that's not a fair point. That's not a fair point. But what they haven't done is made the other ones any more desirable to wear. Right?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Especially for I made a Warlock.
Right.
If I'm running Void, there's really nothing other than the skull in PvE. In PvE. In PvP, lots of choices.
Well, yeah,
but
you have plenty of choices with PvP, but PvE...
It's the skull.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, when you rock an Arc, you got lots of choices.
Mm-hmm.
When you rock in Solar, lots of choices.
But when it comes to the
Void,
there's very little.
There's very little.
Very little. No, I totally agree. Drafty comes in with, I don't like the nerf, but I wish they could adjust super regen based on the number of fire team members. So if you're a solo queuing, you get it back as is. With the fire team, you need the communication. I think that would be fair.
Yeah.
I think that would be a fair. And Munch, and hey Munch, how are you? Munch totally agrees. I think it's a very sound. Now the thing about game development, and I want to play devil's advocate here for Bungie. The thing about game development is adding stuff can sometimes complicate things. You add one element, and this is why I no longer code. Because during the hackathon this weekend that I was attending, people said, "Oh, so you don't code?" And I went, "No, I'm a recovering coder," because I used to work with JavaScript, and the moment you added a character or a semicolon somewhere where it wasn't supposed to be, you broke the entire thing. Mm-hmm. So I totally understand and I totally sympathize with game developers that you just can't throw a switch and A will equal B and C will make sure that D happens. It would be great if what Drafty proposes would work. Mm-hmm. And I think it makes sense. Something tells me though that from a development standpoint, that would take some extra man hours and some serious talent to pull it off. And Drafty also adds that Ophidia Shade is great when it's solar and brawler. Otherwise, he doesn't equip it.
Well, neither of you got that right. So Ophidia Spaith.
Ophidia Spaith. Got it. Okay. Yep. Anyway, so Nick, did you want to add anything to that?
Did you have other things you hadn't said yet about the armor? Or are you good?
No.
One other thing. It's Bungie's fault for the game design. I mean, the reason why we chose those pieces of armor is because of what the challengers before us were, right?
Yeah. I totally agree with that.
And that's the only reason why those became the go-to armor. if there were bosses that took more than one Nova to take down, and then you wouldn't running Skull. You wouldn't, because you wouldn't get your super back. So you might as well have other. So again, it's a way to decide. They what that's telling me also is that the season operates is going to be horde, a lot of horde modes, a lot of ads clearing, a lot of what we're already doing now maybe scaled up even more. But they realize that just made it even easier because we have more fodder, we have more to feed on for our supers.
Almost like a return to the Archon's Forge, which I wouldn't say no to. I mean, we're all fans of the Archon's Forge here. But real quick, I want to take us to break with a thought from Monkey Pants, which is JavaScript causes brain damage, which I totally agree with. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. And when we get back from break, we are going to go on ahead and we're going to talk a little bit more about what's been going on with this right after this break. Okay, and we're back. So we're just going to go ahead and hang out a little bit. First off, chat, thank you all very, very much. You guys are killing it in chat, and we're getting some terrific numbers. Thank you all for joining us. You are watching a live recording of Happy Hour from the Tower. This is a podcast that goes every other week, and I try to get episodes out on Tuesdays, so that's exactly what I'm going to aim for here. You can find out more about our humble podcast at happyhourfromthetower.com. If you got questions for us, thank you. I'm on it. So if you got questions for me, for Brandon, for Nick, or for Obi, go ahead and fire them in chat. We're keeping an eye on it. Right now, this is the segue in between where we can take a break. If we need to go to the little Guardians room, we can. And we're obviously chatting about what's going on with the recent TWAB. We're also going to go on ahead and return to that in the second half of the show. Plus, also talk a little bit about where we are in game, how we're doing in game, what we're aiming for in game, because I know that Obi and I have actually started something. What was that?
Don't tell them.
I'm not going to tell them. I'm not going to tell them, Obi. I'm not going to tell them. It's okay. But we got some regulars in. We got Monkey. He's in chat. Elder Unicorn. Good to see you, Unicorn. Thank you very much. Remember, if you're new to the stream, this is just one of the things that we do on here. We've got Happy Hour from the Tower. We also do Philippa's Freaky Friday, where we flip the script, and my wife plays God of War, and I heckle her instead of her heckling me when I play Destiny. I usually play Destiny bright and early in the mornings from 5 a.m. to roughly 9 a.m. And then we also have live recordings of The Shared Desk, which is the writing podcast that my wife and I host. So, Nick, how you been?
I'm good. Anybody in chat who has finished the most recent Invitation of the Nine, please do not share it, because not everybody on the podcast has finished that.
That would be me.
And it's a cutscene and it's newsworthy, but that's all I'm going to tell you. So we'll leave it at that.
That
So
would
at least
be-
no spoilers on that.
Yeah.
No spoilers on Endgame.
Well, no. Wait. When you mean Endgame, do you mean Avengers Endgame?
What other Endgames are there?
I was just going to say the Russo brothers already lifted the.
I know we did that on our other podcast.
Yeah, there we go.
No, everything's good. Actually, I have a couple different ways of slicing up what you guys talked about that I want to pose to you.
I would love that. I would love that in the second half.
It'll be
I
an
would love
interview
that in the
pod.
second half.
I'll interview you, Brandon. How are you? As always.
Dude, what have they got you doing at your high school, man? You just look exhausted.
Their spring concert was amazing.
What, really? Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about that. How was it? Well, first off, what'd you do?
7 songs, 6 of which had choreography.
Whoo!
Yeah. Oh, and the other one was just from Carmina Burana. So no big
Oh,
deal.
that's right. You were telling me about that.
Yeah, I'm like, nobody told me that was on the list. Right. Everything else was
Which one?
Now,
the second song.
The
Yeah, we did the history of music or the evolution of music, and then the second
That
one.
wasn't.
Huh?
That was Chamber.
I know, but the second song overall.
Yeah, was O Fortuna.
Yeah.
and then
And then they did 4 chords.
Yep.
and I had my little proud dad moment. So, kiddo, my savage daughter of Destiny, she she went to do an audition for the JMU Spring String thing for this weekend.
Yeah, my friends were at that.
Yeah, and they said just play an octave scale. That's all they told her. So she decided to challenge herself. She said I'm going to do a 3-octave scale. So she did a 3-octave scale. They put her with the first violins in the festival orchestra,
Oh,
which was a
boy.
bump up. And I'm at the and if you'd see this on the Discord, you'd hear about this. I'm at the hackathon, and my phone starts buzzing like crazy, and I'm like, what's going on? And I look, and it's just over and over again, Dad, 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 and I just went, what? Then she sends me back a photograph. They were playing Jupiter from Gustav Holst's The Planets.
Wow.
Now, here's how attached we are to that suite as a family. I performed Mars, the Bringer of War, when I was at JMU. Now my kid is performing Jupiter. And twice when she was growing up, before she even thought about getting into orchestra, we took her to Wolf Trap to see the planets live with footage from NASA. And I will not lie, I got really choked up when I was hearing her play Jupiter, because I'm like, holy shit, this is really happening. I was really proud, and I don't know which where your friends landed in the string thing.
Oh, I have no idea.
But it sounded great. They sounded great.
So I heard.
Yeah, they perform at the I believe it's the Folger Center of the Arts, which is the new.
I gotta make sure they're not burning something.
Oh, no problem. Don't worry about it. So yeah, so she just knocked it out of the park. So I'm really proud of her. Really proud of her. And chat, Drafty says I really like Uranus, and that's the thing about
the planet.
The thing about care about Uranus though, when you get closer to Uranus, they have a lot of methane gas. So please be careful when orbiting Uranus. Mars is better, but Jupiter's nice too. That was from TD. Mars is one of my favorite suites is one of my favorite movements from that. But the Jupiter and Saturn are my favorites. Jupiter and Saturn are also some favorites. I love both of those. And if you ever get a chance to see Gustav Holst's The Planets live, go and see it, because a lot of times they will show it with NASA footage, which makes it even cooler.
I'm trying to find the picture, but my drummer just did. I want to say it's at The Planets because LeVar Burton did the narration.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he's in the Virginia Tech Alumni Jazz Band. So
okay.
He's a little bit good.
Sweet, just a wee bit good. A wee bit good.
He's sick. It's so hard to follow that guy sometimes.
So as I mentioned earlier, chat. I'm wearing I'm wearing the sweater of my day job, code.gov, and we helped out with a hackathon this weekend. And
all right, sorry about that. I'm back.
No worries. And the hackathon was a huge hit. They were hoping to have 35 registrations. We had over 100.
Nice.
And about 50 people showed up. The coolest thing, though, and I got to share this with everybody. The coolest thing was this.
Okay.
You want to know what you guys just saw? You saw the ASL for Electric Dreams.
Oh, that's cool.
We had a deaf participant.
Yeah.
And they said, he basically said, look, I'm deaf. Am I going to complicate things? And this is the class level of the contracting firm that we work with, Attain. That's Attain LLC over at Attain. I believe it's AttainLLC.com. But Attain hired 2 deaf interpreters to come in and work with him and work with everybody else. And he was a free agent. He didn't have a team, so he got on with some of the other with another team, and he came in second.
That's great.
But the thing was, we started nerding out with him, and I saw the ASL for Electric Dreams, which I remembered, and Black Mirror, and I mean, we were nerding out hard with this guy, and I'm like, this is the. And when he walked away, I said to the other Attain associate, I said, was that the coolest thing or what? And she was like, I loved it when he signed Electric Dreams. I'm like, yeah, I know. And
so that's the purpose behind that live caption feature that Google announced at I/O.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's essentially to just be able to provide captioning on the fly with all the voice recognition that Google's been building up over time, so that in the event you can't get an interpreter,
you have that.
Yeah,
you've got that.
Yep.
You got that.
That's super cool, though, by the way.
So I wanted to talk to you guys real quick, and Obi, if you want to chime in, because I don't know if you've seen this or not.
Brandon almost brought someone to tears today.
Uh-oh. How'd that happen?
What? We went to GameStop, and he's wearing his I'm Coming Home Ace hoodie from HangerGamerGear.com. And, this person knew, without opening the box, which emblems came with each of the shells to give you an idea of like the level of Destiny players that they were. So, yep. But not a Titan main, so, dead to me.
Speaking of Hanger Gamer Gear,
yeah.
we need to talk to Hangry Gaming Gear because they were talking about doing swag for us, correct? Like shirts or hoodies or something like that?
Yep.
Because guess what? I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but TD0013 turned in the final draft of our crest, and it looks fantastic, chat.
Yep.
We may be having some hoodies and maybe even some T-shirts from Hangry Gamer Gear featuring Happy Hour from the Tower, so I'm pretty stoked about that.
I will text the person in charge.
Fantastic. So I just want to switch gears and talk to you, Brandon, about this. Love, Death, and Robots.
Oh God! What a masterpiece.
We're gonna come back to Destiny, chat. Don't worry. But if you haven't watched this series, it's an anthology, an animated anthology called Love, Death, and Robots, and it's on Netflix. So I want to hear it. I mean, how many episodes are you in?
I think 7 or 8.
Okay.
I don't know if we have the same order.
Okay. So here's a question: Have you seen the one with the? I think it's called 3 Robots.
Yeah, that's the first one for us.
Oh, okay, that was the first one. First one for us was I can't remember the name of it, but it was the one who was she had the mind link with the monster and the pit boss. Mm-hmm. That was ours. That was our first.
So 3 Robots should be the first one across the board because it just charms you right into.
Wasn't it great?
What is this that I'm watching?
That's John Scalzi. That's John.
Is that really Scalzi?
Yeah. Scalzi wrote 3 of them. He wrote that one. He wrote The Guide to Alternative History.
Scalzi's a super talented.
Oh my God, he's extremely talented. And then he did The Day Yogurt Took Over. Have you guys seen that one?
That was a great one.
Yeah.
My favorite might be Beyond the Aquila Reef.
Isn't that freaking astounding?
Yeah.
So
it reminded me too much of Prey.
But it's you know what?
You love that.
The whole thing is it's got the and here's how we tie it back to Destiny. So in the short film Suits, Amanda Holliday shows up.
That's Helen.
That's Helen.
Yep.
Shotgun wielding Helen.
So it didn't take me back. Well, everything Courtney does takes me back to Destiny, but it took me back to.
Oh, TD just gave a shout out for Suits. I think you liked that one too.
The first voice in screaming in my brain.
BattleTech episode.
Why didn't we get this instead of Heavy Metal 2000?
Yeah, no.
This was exactly reading Heavy Metal magazine.
Oh
right?
yeah. This is Heavy Metal ramped up. Ramped up to 11. I mean, it's astounding.
My guitar player Mike was with us, and he's going to be on the panel at Escape Velocity on science fact. Which is the stuff we read and watched in sci-fi that has become everyday life.
Right? Yeah.
Because he's so well read, and I turned. I just go, I'm watching Heavy Metal magazine, and he goes, no shit. So I can curse when we're not recording. So
yeah. When this is not going to be in the podcast chat, but it's okay because we can cuss and stuff like that.
Well, Suits for me was Farmland Titanfall.
Now,
I'm going to go back and watch them all tonight. I'm not a Game of Thrones guy.
So here's the thing. Then do me a favor. Jump ahead because this is why TD and I have been friends for so long. Lucky 13. You've got to. To me, that was my favorite one of the bunch. I loved Lucky 13 with 3 Robots as a very close second.
Let me just say this. I will also jump on
Splash
Facebook
down, motherfucker.
tomorrow.
3 Robots was the only not dark one.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the one that you've seen. They do get pretty damn dark.
I'll watch them.
Like Witness.
I'll write my review. It'll be up on nickkelly.com like all my reviews. And then tomorrow morning, I'll jump on Facebook just to watch how many people say F you Game of Thrones. Because Monday mornings this season have been my favorite thing. I have not watched the show. I don't care. The character names are ridiculous and too hard. I just know who they are in the X-Men movies.
I don't even think I'm hate watching at this point. I think right now I'm just like, well, you know what?
I'm people watching it. And
I'm
it is
this
awesome.
far in. I might as well fucking finish it. I mean, I am so pissed right now at Game of Thrones, and I'm just like, really? This is what we.
It was the last season of Dexter, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Well,
a lot of people have compared it to the last season of Dexter.
Well, really, I mean, it's like, hey, what's the question I always ask? If Han Solo's not going to die in The Force Awakens, why is he in the fucking movie? That's exactly. It was like, if you're not going to kill Dexter, there should not be a finale. And then, not only do they not kill him because the producers wouldn't let them,
right?
But his sister Deb, who's a firecracker throughout the whole show, they just wipe her out off camera. She's just dead, and you're like, what the? You guys are making every bad decision. If I had a check box of all the stupid things that you guys could do, you're hitting all of them.
TD just said, "Hey, bitches be cray cray."
See? Unfortunately, so are TV producers.
But going back,
Exhibit A, season 2 of Heroes.
But since you guys are not
Season 2 of Heroes.
See, too many hands in the fucking writers' room.
There was never a season 2 of Heroes. There was never a second or third Matrix, and there was only 2 Alien films. Okay, only 2. But
and there's no remastered Star Wars, and there are no prequels.
And there was only one shot in that goddamn Katina, and it was from Han fucking Solo.
I like that Alien movie that had Sinead O'Connor in it. That was good.
Going back seriously tonight, if you guys are gonna fire up Love, Death, and Robots, just jump to Lucky 13
them all at this point because they're only 16
jump to Lucky
minutes
13,
long.
then text me. I want to hear what you guys think of Lucky 13 because honestly, I'm right there. Oh, and TD is absolutely right. No Highlander 2. No Highlander 2 or 4 or any of those damn sequels.
After all, the theme is there can only be one, right?
Right. Well, there's one show. There's one movie, one series. Because Highlander the Raven was also a bit of a train wreck too.
So I'm gonna text you tonight, but it's gonna be completely out of context.
Great.
It'll be like Helen got on top of the Iron Throne. I don't know what that means, but have a nice night. I figure if I'm gonna watch them,
I'd rather have that. I'd rather have Helen on top of the Iron Throne, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But no.
And friend of the show Courtney Taylor and friend of the show Joy Osmansky are both in Rage 2.
The video game?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? So Joy got onto the gig. Sweet as.
That and Mortal Kombat 11 are my 2 playlists.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
At the
so
moment.
what is Rage? I've seen some people playing it on.
What is Rage 2, Brandon?
What is Rage?
You know how Mad Max is chaotic?
Yeah.
Yeah, amp that up by 20.
Okay, then.
With special, supernatural powers and a bunch of more explosions.
What was the one that you were hoping? Skate 4? Skate 3?
Skate 4.
Skate 4? That's our running joke. I was watching him play Dead by Daylight today.
So that was the thing.
That was
so
tense.
For a while we were talking. The deaf participant didn't. He's not a big gamer.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a big gamer. So we were just dabbling with games, and he said to us through his interpreter, he said, "Have you guys heard of a game called Cyberpunk 2077?"
Son of a bitch.
And I said, "Oh, my buddy."
Yeah, that's the release date.
Yeah, I was gonna say my buddy Nick is counting down the effing days.
I know what song I'm playing in the car on the way back.
Yeah, you guys will lose me when that one comes out for a little while, but it's no different than the season.
I have faith in CD.
The season of I told you we can't record Tuesday night.
Yeah.
The season of Opulence comes out.
Does it?
Season of Opulence comes out on Tuesday.
Isn't it Tuesday? Isn't
No.
it the
No.
reset?
It's 2 more weeks.
Next month.
Next
Is
month.
it next month?
It's June
Yeah,
4th.
next month.
It'll be another Tuesday that I'm gone.
Yeah,
because I'm
probably.
gone Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this week. So
Yeah, that's fair.
Yep.
All right. So should we go
but
ahead
yes,
and get back
Love,
into
Death,
it?
and Robots definitely has the
yeah.
cyberpunk feel to it. I really like that, and also I'm super stoked as a mark for
I
Daredevil.
knew you'd love it. I
that,
knew you'd love it.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance comes out July 19th.
Wait, what is it? Marvel Middle? What is
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, Switch exclusive, Marvel fighting game.
Oh.
With my man Daredevil and
Yeah,
Miles Morales. Yeah.
Very nice.
There's also going to be a VR Darth Vader game.
There's Vader Immortal, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Munch, have a good night. Thanks for sticking around with us. We
See
do
you, Munch.
appreciate it. Okay, so we're going to jump back into the show. Have your questions and comments
Shout out
ready.
to Dredge and Dak, by the way, who joined me in bio.
Isn't he great?
Yeah.
Dak is awesome. Dredge and Dak. Love that guy. Love that guy.
I'm going to get to that.
Okay, so here we go. In 3,
Cool your sails.
2. And we are back with the second half of Happy Hour from the Tower. I'm T.
I'm Nick.
I'm Brandon.
Hello, Ron.
Yeah.
Say that again.
You are.
Say that again.
We'll fix it in post.
Perfect.
Prick. Okay.
Ron is dialing in from the other side of the black hole with
Yes.
Maximilian.
Maximilian. Oh my God.
That was borderline Galaxy Quest. That was
It was. Yeah, well, it was. Yeah.
That's not what we're here to talk
You've
about.
got to find its motivation. What does it want? Okay.
they're minors. How can you tell? Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry. Let T get a little sip there.
how do you make a fruit cordial? Be nice to him, I guess. So, anyway.
How do you make a Venetian black?
like this.
How many South Americans does it take?
Easy.
To light
Oh
bulb?
my
A
God.
Brazilian.
A Brazilian.
Oh, God.
Okay.
And finally, what do you call a black astronaut?
There we go.
Well, you call him an astronaut, you racist. All right. All right.
We have young man, and old astronaut.
Oh, my God.
Stay on target. Stay on target.
Here we go.
Okay. So, Nick, you. So what we were talking about, everybody, is we're talking about the recent TWAB that came out. We are voicing some very strong opinions, both good and bad. I've got a few more, mostly bad, but I want to talk about a few other things that people mentioned,
Or indifferent.
in the case of now, Nick. You said you had some extra things you wanted to say in response to the stuff that Brandon, Coach, and I have come up with.
Go
for it.
Okay, so this is kind of just going to put it out there and make you guys think about it, if that's okay.
Fair enough.
Tread carefully, my friend. Tread carefully.
Might be here for a
I
while.
will, Obi. Okay, so here's the deal. So I'm looking at this, and you guys are talking about how things are supposed to be harder in the season of opulence. And so if I'm Bungie, the grid that I have to satisfy, so give yourself a little crosshairs, right? One is PvP, PvE, right?
Right.
And then the other is casual gamers and pro gamers. This has been the push-pull.
This has been the push-pull.
Forever.
This
So
has been the push-pull.
Something has to, it all fits somewhere on those two axes, right? Axes, XI, whatever they are.
XI.
So my question for you is this. Okay, so we can ramp things up and make the raid harder and make the day one enemies power level 720, even though your cap is 700. We can make the PvE stuff. We can do anything we want to with the PvE stuff, right? It's Play-Doh.
Sure.
So
To an extent.
right? But my first question, because I have three. So my first question for you guys is this. So how do you solve for
A problem like Maria?
close? How do you solve for X? Okay, if X is everybody's getting killed by this gun or this gun in the Crucible, because you can't suddenly ramp up the difficulty in the Crucible unless it's the obstacles that you have to get by. But that's the level playing field. So the folks who haven't put in the hours and hours and hours that it takes to get some of the weapons that you guys talked about don't have access to those weapons. How do you solve the problem of the people who have done them can just walk in and just splatter whole teams in dozens?
You want to take that, Brandon?
I mean, the answer you're expecting is nerf, right? Because that's
No, it's one possible scenario.
Because
It's nerf or nothing.
So I'll throw out another potential solution or potential way to address the problem. All right, what if you had three tiers of the Crucible? One, you can only do legendary weapons. One, you can do exotic, and then one if there's whatever was higher than that.
Well,
quest weapons.
Well, I was going to say
Right?
they actually had something like that, and we do have multiple tiers. We have
play, rumble,
quick play.
and competitive.
Right, and we should have had trials. Trials was for the higher level.
I still have no idea where that went.
And a lot of the hardcore 1% gamers they are still bitter, and I think rightfully so.
Yeah,
I think rightfully so, because to me, trials, even during D1, trials was always the out of touch.
it was the competitive.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was hot yoga. I mean, you work up a sweat in a workout, but then if you want to really sweat, you go to hot yoga, or in this case, trials.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, I mean, what are your thoughts in response to that? I mean, do you think there should be multiple levels, or do we already have that?
I think it's something that could be worked on. I don't know, because it's certainly a different idea.
So if I'm doing, but there's nothing to say just because you can do the highest level that you can't do exactly the same stuff in the lowest level, right? So I know for a while it was, oh look, somebody on the other team has a linear fusion rifle. I'm going to die 14 times. Like I just knew that was the case, right? And as soon as you hear it, I'm like, I'm dead. Cool, great. But so that's one of the and Ron has to answer too, because
I was going to ask Ron the same question. So Ron,
Snarky.
yes, the same question about that. Do you think that would be one of the possible solutions?
Or
having
does the nerf help address that?
The nerf doesn't address that, A. B, there's no gun that can wipe the other team out just because you have the gun. Contrary to what people say, you maybe get killed often by the gun, but 9 times out of 10 is because you've refused to change your gameplay, refused to recognize that gun exists and take a different tactic.
I actually would agree with that. I agree with that.
Charging straight into a shotgun or 5 times is no reason for you to say they should nerf shotgun.
Obi, I said I was going to change my gameplay. I swear to God, I told you that.
All right, Luna's Howl in the problem with Luna's Howl and Not Forgotten is completely different than, say, a Prometheus Lens or Wave Splitter or even Jotun. The problem with Luna's Howl is that it is prolific because it is purchasable. End of story. To me, I think that's the issue.
Do you agree with that,
but,
Brandon?
Yeah.
But on the flip side, most of the people who've purchased a gun aren't skilled enough to make the best use of it. You've been outgunned by a bad gunner, but you were just worse in more cases than not. I've been in cases with Luna's Howl, and I got killed by Luna's Howl, and I realized that guy shot 5 times to kill me. I just happened to miss all 6 of my shots. Right?
Right. I mean, would you agree with that, Brandon? What they're saying?
Its skill level definitely matters, and that's the whole point of the Crucible.
And see, now what I would say in response to this, because and maybe I'm jumping the gun to the next part of your question, which is
the next two are totally unrelated.
Okay, then because you were talking about the whole we've got 2 levels of players. We've got the casual players, and we've got the hardcore players, the regular players.
Right.
Now, I don't know. I honestly don't know where I put myself in the category of regular player. And
you're like mid-tier.
Yeah, no, and I totally accept that. You know that. Like I say, I'm not a.
You're LFG as a person.
but the thing is that I'm passionate about Destiny. I love this game, and I play it on a regular basis. I play it on an almost daily basis. Now that being said, I didn't do that with D1. I was a casual player in D1. Yeah, I mean, in fact, I would even go so far as to say I was a casual binge player.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play for weeks, but when I would play, it would be like 8 hours, and it's 3 a.m, and Nick's like, "I think we need to go to bed," and I'm like, "Yeah, I think we do." So we would, we would do that, and then I'd go to bed serenaded by
Follow Them to Glory,
and then we would, and that would be that. Now that being said, I knew in D1 there were things, there were weapons, there were armor that I wouldn't get because I didn't do certain activities, and that I wasn't a regular player. I had really good weapons. Mm-hmm. I did have good weapons in D1, but it wasn't until near the end that I started to get a little more regular with my playing, and I started doing harder things. I ran Crota's End with Z, and I got the Necrochasm. I ran part of, again with Z, I ran part of Wrath of the Machine. I got the Steel Medulla. I started to learn the names of the weapons. I mean, that was what I started doing, and it became a different experience. I think Bungie is trying, again, and this has been an argument since the launch of D2. I think Bungie should just accept, yes, they are still appealing to the casual player. Destiny is a beautiful game. It's a beautiful game for the casual and the hardcore player, and it's appealing to both. But they're trying so hard to cater and to make the casual player be as godlike as the people who log in every day, and I don't think that's fair.
Yeah, no. You got to put time into this game.
Exactly. And if you don't...
And the ones who do are very much the vocal minority.
Yeah, we are.
Right.
And I'm putting myself in that minority.
So Ron, let me rephrase the question, and then I want all 3 of you to answer. And if the answer's in the negative, then the fix is incorrect. Okay.
The fix is incorrect.
So if I took 2 players of identical skill set, is there a weapon that gives an unfair advantage to one over the other?
Yeah, let's coach
2
take
players
that
identical skill set.
Yep.
So you clone the guy. He's playing against himself.
Is there is there any weapon in the game, if that's the scenario where I got just clone T? Is there any weapon that exists right now that gives just an absolute unfair advantage?
Doesn't matter which weapon it is; they'll mess each other.
No.
Okay.
Let's say that.
You guys all agree on that?
Honestly, I don't think so. I think the 2 people who are excellent snipers will trade. Will be even out. You watch guys like True Vanguard. Even he admits, as good as he is, he gets beat by people. True Vanguard beats people with Sunshot that are carrying Luna's Howl. All right.
So do you guys,
True Vanguard
you guys agree?
He beats people with auto rifles. Okay,
but,
it's how you play the game.
Right. That's what I would say. That's exactly what I would say. Thank you, Coach. I mean, I one of the things that Marvinsky, the big Marvinsky, likes to say about he says one thing I like watching about T, but it also frustrates the hell out of me with T, is that he never plays the meta. He always
you never do.
No, I never do. But it's because a lot of times people say, "Yeah, this is the meta." I go, I'm not really comfortable with that weapon. I'll be comfortable with this weapon. Okay. And it's another good example. Jenny, Biohazard Babe. Mm-hmm. I remember when I first started running with her in the Crucible, and she was just like, I suck at this. Now she's like, keep up, scrub. I mean, she is savage, and she's not necessarily playing the meta.
The problem with playing with her is that you got to stop laughing long enough to
know.
Communicate anything. Yeah. She kills me.
I know, she's great.
Oh,
she's great.
It's just the glee that she has at just wiping out other Guardians, or even in strikes and shit. She's just like that funny, like all the time. So.
Oh yeah, but that's my point. Is that for me, and I've told this to Marv, and I've told this to Obi, and I've told this to you guys. I don't run the meta because sometimes the meta doesn't mesh with my game style, and I try to do. I mean, like I went into Vostok for Iron Banner, and I was with IMT Bot, and I was running a Trinity Ghoul, and I know that's not meta, but I love the Trinity Ghoul.
It's a great weapon.
I wound up being on the top of the leaderboard.
Oh,
and
that's a first.
And yeah, and Iron Banner, and I was like, how'd that happen? Now, granted, just to show that I'm still humble, I got 18 kills in that round, and then the next round 5, and I was running the same meta. I was running the same loadout.
I mean, it just matters on who you're up against. It's a skill level thing.
It matters who you're up against, but it also matters with the weapons that you're comfortable with. Mm-hmm. When I look at the bow, I'm saying this is just a different kind of sniper, and I love running with it. I love getting my Oliver Queen on. I admit that, but it's not meta. It's something I'm comfortable with. So I would say in response to that, the same thing that Obi said. It depends on the individual player, and if they're both of an equal skill, you could give one guy an ace of spades, give the other guy the last word, and they'll just basically duke it out. We saw it in that freaking Gambit Invitational. Holy hell! At Guardian Con, I mean, all of those players were just sick, and they rocked it. Wasn't it True Vanguard that did the missile that took out the entire other team during
something
Gambit?
like that. He did something great. I don't know what it was.
I remember the crowd just lost their effing minds.
Less than a second difference between them winning and losing that round.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, so if that's the case, like we're reducing variables, we're doing scientific method here. Sorry to make you put on school brain on a Sunday, but
TD backs it up. He says I almost exclusively use Misfit. Again, not a meta weapon. But he uses Misfit for PvP.
That's
good weapon.
Okay.
It's
solid
an
weapon.
auto rifle.
I know what it is. I have it. Thank you. Right? But my loadout half the time has Ace of Spades, half the time it has Perfect Paradox, half the time it has the Vow. Not an awesome weapon necessarily.
But a solid bow.
But yeah.
It's a solid bow.
But and 100% of the time it has the feedback fence. Like, I'm not giving 100%. That up.
So he is getting buried, chat, with his feedback
absolutely.
fence.
So the deal is, okay, so then if the weapons aren't the unfair advantage, then nerfing the weapons alone, it could be part of the equation, but nerfing the weapons alone is not the solution. Okay, so just trying to be scientific over here, trying to give you guys a different way.
And it's not. And again, like I said, back in D1, when they nerfed the weapon, they had data to back it up. They said, this is why. When it came to this round of nerfs, they've even said, we've heard, it's seen. People have complained. They're catering to the complainers. This round of nerfs is just people who have complained the most have gotten the nerf to take place. That's really what's been happening.
And I it feels like it's now becoming game development by committee, which, as we mentioned with the non-existent Hero Season 2, it's never a good thing.
Pulled in too many different directions.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the equivalent of Athens relying too much on democracy.
Oh, wow. There's a pull.
Wow.
Thanks, man.
I like history.
All right, so let me ask you this way. So now get yourself in your game developer brain.
Oh, here we go.
How's your sister?
Okay.
And
so let me... Maybe it's not how many
people
are...
Before you go too far,
okay.
But to answer your 4-quadrant thing,
yep.
The difference is that for the casual and hardcore, there are different quest lines to get different types of guns. So there should be certain guns. Like some people will never get Outbreak perfected because they're solo players and they're not glad, so they can't do it solo.
I'm going to get you an Outbreak perfected, my friend.
Well,
so
fine. I won't get Whisper
on the
because
flip
I'm not
side.
puzzle.
On the flip side, there are other guns you can get on your own, like Ace of Spades.
Like but you can't get the Rat King by yourself. Let's just put that out there.
It's not worth it.
No, it's not.
I didn't say it was worth it. You can't get it by yourself.
Why aren't they nerfing the Rat King?
Nice.
Because you don't need to.
Isolate that as a drop-in.
Anytime it shoots, it nerfs itself.
I'm gonna go. Jeez, I'm gonna add a marker on that.
Yep. All right. So here. Okay. So
that's gonna be a drop-in for you guys.
Great.
All right. So let me move to the next question.
How many times have you promised that?
I know.
I only have 2 more questions, and then we'll get to some of the things we're working on. So, all right. So put on your game developer hat. So if you're Bungie, and I get you're listening to the community, and maybe you're listening to the community. I don't want to use the B word, but let's say complain. All right. So now let's say you're Bungie on Twitter. All right. And so how would you feel if let's say 3 out of every 10 at Bungie tweets are, look at this video of me soloing the boss that was supposed to be super, super difficult, and it took the first group 10 days to get it. Now everybody can just blow right through it. Like, does that go into your headspace in terms of nerfing a weapon? That it looks like everything's too easy if one person can just solo it. I mean, there's a reason it's a triumph, but...
Ron, do you want to take that first?
No, because I don't think it's an issue because that one person has memorized the movements of the ads, right? Even for King's Fall, at some point, everybody figured out at 25 seconds there will be a sniper on that ledge. Your job is to shoot him. There's nothing random about it. It amazes me to this day when you're walking around in PvE, in strikes or whatever. You're like, well, there's a spawn door. Nothing's ever come out of that spawn door. You know, they don't change it up. Nothing. It doesn't. They might change the enemies once in a while for a strike, and they'll mix it up until you get to the boss portion of it. But once you've seen the different combinations and you've played long enough, it's a breeze. This is why it baffles me. Well, I understand not everybody has done the reckoning as much as some others have, me perhaps, but you know where everything's spawning. The moment you land, you know they're going to be right over there. I don't need to get in their face to throw a Nova Bomb. I could cross map a Nova Bomb and get things started, which is why the good groups or the more experienced groups, the first phase especially is over in 30 seconds to a minute, and you're off to the Bridge of Folly. Meanwhile, people who have not seen don't realize that they spawn exactly in the same spots every time.
Right.
You're like, oh my god, that was close. We had 5 seconds left. Well, that's because you just don't know the pattern yet.
Right.
There's nothing that changes. So no, I don't think a developer should get upset by that. It's just that because the people who grind the most will know where everything is, when everything is.
What about you, Brandon? What do you think?
It's the reason people can solo D1 raids. It's enough experience. Mm-hmm. It's enough knowing what they do. It's
comfort with the mechanics.
Yeah, and right. The reason people can't get raids done immediately is because it's new mechanics. They haven't been taught it before.
Right.
Everything spawns differently.
Right.
You're not used to what it is. So that's why we can do Vault of Glass in an hour compared to launch day, however long it took.
Right.
Right. But it's a time thing. It's gonna happen. It's not.
I was having a discussion with my with a cousin of mine, and we were talking about Last Wish, which holds the record, I believe, for longest completion of a raid, which was something like 18 hours. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm out." And I go, hang on a second. It was 18 hours from the world's first because nobody knew the mechanics. Mm-hmm. These same guys can probably do it within 30 minutes now if that same team went back, because now they've done it enough times, they know the mechanics. It's the same thing. Now, as for me, my frustration is when, if I'm new to a raid, Danfinity or whomever I'm running with are going to be like, well, this is going to take a lot longer because T doesn't know the mechanics. But now I'm at a point where I know the mechanics, I know what we need to do, boom, boom, boom. And, I think the fastest we've completed the Last Wish is in an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. As far as being, if I was a game developer and a guy said, "Yeah, I just figured this out," and look at me soloing this, I'm like, well, how many times did this guy run it? And also, how can you really take, and this goes back to me owning it about cheesing, taking advantage of the cheese / vulnerability in in 0 hour. So because I took advantage of that, I got the gun and I got the emblem. I'm not wearing now. Here's the thing though. I'm not wearing the emblem because I didn't earn the emblem. I earned the gun because I made it to the boss fight and I killed the boss, and I did that. And the run before that, I did with the timer going. I made it to the final boss fight, but I only had like less than 3 minutes, and we just didn't have enough time. I didn't want to take up any more of their time, and I said, let's take advantage of the cheese. Now, thing is, when I went into the Iron Banner later that night, I saw a lot of those emblems running around.
Yeah.
This is after the story came out of like, here's how you game. This is how you game 0 hour. I'm not going to be that guy. There's a whole business, and if you want to know what would trigger me as a game developer, are these guys? There's a whole business out there of, hey, do you want the outbreak perfected? Pay me X amount of dollars. Give me your.
There's people doing that with Lunas and Not Forgotten.
I know. That's what I mean.
That's not new.
This isn't new.
No.
That isn't new. But man, that triggers me because there are now people who get these weapons and they're like, look what I got. And then you see them use it and you're like, have you ever shot this before? And it's obvious that they never they don't know what they're doing. But they're getting all the weapons because they are basically paying to play.
Can I ask you a sidebar?
Yeah.
Do you think Crown of Sorrow takes longer as the next raid? Do you think it breaks the record?
Ooh.
I hope it does.
That's their goal.
I hope it does. I really hope it does.
Should be everybody's goal. I mean, I think the enemies start at 7:15, so good luck.
Should.
Right?
By the way, just so you know, Swifty, who's currently in chat, Light Swifty, he was on that run for the 0 hour, and he said, "quote We totally would have stuck with you for longer to get that gun legit if you had wanted. Then you know what? We'll do it again. We'll do it again, Swifty. And when I
bring
and yes,
Brandon,
can we bring Brandon?
He needs
Light.
That's the last
Swifty,
step, right?
We need to bring Brandon. So let's do it again, okay? Let's do that again, Swifty. We'll I'll tell you what, ping me on ping me on Discord and we'll set up a time because we got to get Brandon that weapon, all right? And I know Brandon's gonna love 0 hour.
I laughed at I saw some comments on the Facebook page where people saying, yeah, the whole outbreak perfected. That quest was too easy. I got it done in 40 minutes. I'm like, BS. You didn't get it done in 40 minutes.
Exactly.
There's no way you would have gotten it done.
Royal we.
Yes. And that's the thing. And that's why as a developer, you know, for someone to say, yeah, I just soloed this, derp. It's basically somebody, whipping out their wahoo and saying, look at how big I am. I mean, it is. There's no legitimacy to those types of claims, in my opinion. Now, if something had been out for like I saw someone who said, "Yeah, I got the whole armor set for the Revelry in like 2 days," it's like, okay, you probably grinded, and and that's fine. Good on you.
And there are legit people who are the top 1%ers, and,
right.
And I get so like friend of the show, Lulu,
right,
has all the seals.
Yeah.
God bless her because she puts the freaking time in.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely, she's a machine.
Yeah,
and even someone said you're not good enough for Unbroken. I XYZ. Turns out he had like half the KDR that she had, and on top of that, she's like, look, I know I was running with people.
That's definitely not what he said, but
I know that. Yeah, no kidding. But the thing is, what he was saying to her, she even said, hey, I have made no bones about it. I ran with better people than me to help me get to Unbroken. And she goes, it is not uncommon to ask for help, but people don't want to own it and say, I took advantage of the cheese. I'm the first one to say I took advantage of the cheese, but you know what? I'm not wearing the emblem until I properly earn it. And as far as the gun itself, I earned the gun. I ran the mission, and guess what? I'll run it again with anybody because I freaking love that mission.
Okay. You're up.
There you go.
Yep.
So, but the point but going back to the original question, you got to take what people say. Oh, that was too easy. You got to take that crap with a grain of salt. With a grain of salt. And I think Obi's right. It's usually the BS meter going on.
And I actually like Obi's answer to that question a lot. It's the same thing as when you start off as a white belt. Your kick sucks, right?
Yeah.
It's slow. There's no power behind it,
right.
And it comes with repetition, and it comes with taking the time. So I'm not asking these questions as a you guys are whatever you tell me is wrong. I'm throwing
No,
it out there.
no, this is a good time, and I think everybody in chat's having a good time, so we're good.
All right, so here's my last one. I think chat's, and this is, and I'm not trolling anybody. I promise. So we're getting the possessions that we have nerfed, right? We've had the situation, the scenario where everything that we had got completely nerfed and stolen away, and that was the beginning of the Red War.
It was.
So why does that feel so different? Is that because it's part of the story? Is it because there's an in-game justification for it? Like, or is it these guys are just, we're calling Bungie butthurt because they think too many people are getting too powerful too quick and they can't keep everybody happy?
I don't understand the first part about the fact that we started D2 without our D1 guns. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, so what I'm saying is this. So we've effectively been reduced in terms of what we're able to do because our weapons are less effective once the nerf happens, right? Now, the same thing, when we started the Red War, we were nerfed, but we were in-story nerfed. So does it feel different? Is there a difference there? I mean, what's your kind of take?
No, it's not the same thing at all.
No.
It's not the same. Okay, here's the example of what they did. You worked hard your whole life. You saved your money. You made the advancements in your careers and your skill level. And you say, you know what? I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to get that Bugatti Veyron, right?
Okay.
That what?
Okay.
Sports car.
Okay.
Sports car. Okay.
It's a very, very fast sports car.
Exotic sports car.
Right? And so you got this exotic sports car. Now the Bugatti has a top speed that is ungodly. But to get to that top speed, you have to insert your key, a special key in the door sill, which basically voids says you accept responsibility for whatever happens from
Turns
this
off
point
the
on.
regulator.
Essentially. Yep. Right. So and then you've been driving that car, you've been using that key, life is good. You and 30 of your friends out of, say, 150 people have gotten the car with the key, and you're loving life. And then one day later, and then down the road you hear, oh, there's a new regulation, the key is outlawed, you can't use that key anymore. That's the nerf.
I would agree. And yeah, that's a great analogy. I think that this feels entirely different because when we all got nerfed at the beginning of D2, that was the new starting point. Versus here, it's just we've worked really hard to get these weapons. We've worked really hard to master these weapons.
Yeah.
We're gonna nerf them because we want to make sure everybody's got an even playing field for the Season of Opulence. And I'm sorry, but I mean, make the game harder then, but don't take away what makes armor and weapons exotic. That's just it just feels like we're being penalized because they didn't think they don't think that the Season of Opulence is hard enough.
And the whole Luna's Howl quest was to teach you to become better at what? Using a hand cannon.
All these quests are doing that.
And proficient at letting headshots. And what they do? They nerf that. They say, oh, too many headshots, which we're going to do anyway. Of course we're going to get headshots. We've been conditioned to get headshots.
Right.
The whole purpose of getting the gun was to get headshots.
Thanks for the 200 bits, by the way, Drafty. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
They didn't nerf Luna's Howl and Not Forgotten. They changed them into different guns.
But the reason behind it, they said, was because they rewarded people for doing what they would have done anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I feel like the whole thing about the quest that they take us on, they teach us something. I mean, I remember when I was going on the quest for last word. Yeah. I mean, it was hard. It was really hard. I mean, Obi was there when I got that army of one. I mean, I was
malfeasance.
Was that for malfeasance? That was for malfeasance.
Gambit, it's malfeasance.
Yeah, you're right. I take that back. You're absolutely right. It was for malfeasance. But even the stuff for malfeasance, it taught me something. For the thorn, it taught me something.
Yeah. My ears still have scabs.
Yeah. Sorry about that. But as Obi said, it was a moment in destiny of unfettered joy. And but again, it's just that this is what the quests have all basically said. If you have run this quest and you've got this weapon, then that means that you've got the skill to use it, because all the tests to get to this weapon,
you've earned it.
You've earned it. And now we're penalizing you because we didn't make this upcoming content hard enough. Now, this is one of the arguments I've heard about this. People have said that Bungie has been known to do this with weapons. I don't think on this sweeping of a scale, but they've been known to do these for weapons because A, they've got new weapons coming down the pike that are supposed to be even more powerful, and B, they do this because they want to get people fired up for the new content that's coming down the pike, and also that the new weapons that are coming down are more geared for the content that is coming. I see what they're saying there. I'm not 100% buying into it.
So I'm buying into it on the armor side.
Okay. Why the armor side?
I'm half sold on the armor side. I must admit, I'm half sold on the armor side. Just from my experience with the Reckoning. But go ahead, Nick. You first.
So my thought is, it's not that what they're taking away, right? The endless supers, as much as it's what you guys all said that the outcome was as a player, which was this particular subclass is now garbage without. We've taken away the one thing that makes it worth doing, and I don't think that they would do that without having something new proposed to take its place. That's my thought.
That's fair.
I think that's a possibility.
Yeah.
I think that's a possibility, but friend of the stream, Shavlar, he was basically saying, yeah, Bungie does this all the time. Everybody loses their mind, and then suddenly they see these new weapons. They go, "Oh, new shiny," and they forget about it.
All of year one was this. That's bad decisions made by Bungie, them not telling us stuff, them making random changes.
But right, this is not them not telling us stuff, because they've been very.
They've been very open.
But
they've been very open and very transparent.
The random changes, things that nobody called for. Like,
do we think
when they doubled the requirement for bright engrams?
Yeah.
Not telling anyone?
What was that?
When they
doubled the requirement for bright engrams and didn't tell anybody back in D1.
No, that was year one.
Year one. Yeah. And
do we think that this problem?
Do we think that this problem is not a new problem? Do we think that this problem is just Bungie again making bad decisions and not consulting anybody, just going, hey, we're going to make these sweeping changes and you're going to be happy with it, and pretty much this is what you got to do.
So suck it, nerds.
That's the way it's going to be.
Do we think that this is a recursive answer to? Does this have anything to do with the split away from Activision, or do you think Bungie continues to do this moving forward?
I don't think this has anything from Activision. I think Activision is financial. I think Activision had more say in the financial aspects of the game versus how the guns work
in chat,
and the armor works.
In chat, Swifty says, I don't think that Bungie should only do what the community calls for, personally.
Yeah.
And I agree.
So
you cannot design by committee. You cannot game develop by committee.
It's what I said about Athens.
Right.
They're too much. They're listening too much.
Right. I mean, they can take it into consideration, sure, but in the end, Bungie has to make the decision.
It's their game.
It's their freaking game.
So you guys aren't fired up for one season of Opulence is over and it's season of Brexit? Why don't we shelf this and get into what we're working on in game? Because I know we're going a little.
Yeah, we're going a little long. And actually, what we should do is actually, I personally think that we should go on ahead and just wrap up this and then do a little extra content afterwards where we talk about what we're doing. But real quick, just going down the line. Thank you, everybody. This has been a great discussion. And of course, we're going to play the game. We're still going to play the Season of Opulence.
I am unmoved by any of these things.
I got 4 exotic hand cannons in my kinetic slot. Changing the ace isn't going to mess me up.
And as for me, I don't necessarily use Whisper a lot.
Bring back the Basilisk.
Change Whisper to secondary.
I'd really like to see the Necrochasm come back, but I'm really looking into the.
Stop asking for things to come back.
It is the Crown of Sorrow.
Yeah, there's that.
No, but Ron has a good point.
And again, but I don't main any of the weapons that are being nerfed. I mean, to be honest, I don't use them. Not really part of my weapon. I just didn't think that was the way to go, is to change the way the weapons work. Because the reason why we got the weapons is because of how they work. Mm-hmm. If you had told us from day one that, the Whisper was going to draw from reserves, I'm thinking, that's just a super triple tap. I don't care. Right. I'm not going to bother with it.
Right. And so
I like the way you guys have all answered these questions.
Yeah. No, this has been a great show. And you know what? I would love to hear what chat thinks. I'd love to hear what our listeners think. So remember, 703-791-1701. You can use that on WhatsApp to drop us a text, or you can go on ahead and just drop us a voicemail through that line or through WhatsApp, and we will gladly play it on the show. We also have podcast at happyhourfromthetower.com. And of course, you've found us here on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/the T Monster. And yeah, this has been a great discussion. I appreciate all the input, both from chat and from you guys. In closing, Nick, are you looking forward to the season of Opulence?
Absolutely.
Yeah. How about you, Brandon?
Yeah, Opulence.
Yeah. And how about you, Ron?
I'm concerned about it. I don't know.
Really? You're seriously concerned about it?
Because again, these nerfs to the guns and to the armor are because of the season of Opulence.
I blame Chaos.
So,
well, I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll find out where we're headed.
Triangle.
I blame my lack of sleep from this weekend. So on that note, hey, on behalf of Nick, on behalf of Brandon, on behalf of Ron, remember, folks, that Happy Hour from the Tower is protected by a non-commercial, no derivative, share-alike United States 3.0 license. You can find out more about that license at creativecommons.org. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Eyes up, Guardian. Time to give up the ghost. The first round's on us. You better hold me to that offer, Drafty, because I'm good for it. I'm good for it, my friend. I am definitely good for
Brandon with you, please.
What's that?
To get the Optimus Prime?
No, that's a different thing.
Oh no, that's a different thing. But definitely. So yeah, Drafty and Swifty were both talking about when we can do this. I'm thinking, what's your schedule on Thursday, Brandon?
I don't know.
All right.
I'm 15. Why do you think I keep tracking my schedule?
That's fair.
Do you have anything after school on Thursday?
I don't think so.
No, you do not.
If possible, Swifty, you, me, and Brandon can make that run. As far as Drafty,
I will watch that.
As far as Drafty, if you're available, Swifty, Drafty, like I said, tonight's a rough night because I got to mentally prepare myself for the finale of Game of Thrones and the disappointment that may follow.
Come on, Helen.
Yeah, here we go.
Did you guys watch Big Bang Theory? Do you guys watch Big Bang Theory?
I really like it.
I kind of bagged out on the Big Bang Theory many seasons ago.
So even if you
did, a good finish.
I thought the finale really wrapped everything up really well. I agree. There was not many finales that I enjoy, but that was one.
I was one of the few people that enjoyed the finale of Quantum Leap.
I would like to have seen Raj keep the girl, but that's just me. I thought that would be kind of cool.
That's your.
For the first time, he was. No,
I'm kidding.
It was the first time he wasn't a total butthole to women. And every time he found a woman, he was like a complete idiot. This is the first time he was decent.
So yeah, this we're gonna take this moment. Oh, I should probably stop the recording because
stop the recording.
Boom, and I'm gonna go ahead
Wrong
and save
kind of post.
So what are we working on? Let's go round robin. First up, Brandon, are you working on anything specifically in?
Yes,
I am.
Well, Outbreak. There's that. We're gonna get that. We're gonna get that in there.
That's one of them.
Yeah, Thursday if it's possible. Swifty, let me know if Thursday can happen.
Well, the other thing I'm one triumph away for
is
Dredgen.
oh, which triumph?
Protect the runner.
Ooh, okay.
I
What
run
was that?
solo.
What triumph?
Protect the runner.
Ah, okay. That's an easy one.
Yeah, we should find. Well, it's.
He's got to be with teammates, so he's got to be.
Yeah.
There's got to be a time set to do it, because otherwise he doesn't like to reach out to clan.
Well, that's but that's easy to do. It's Ron, it's me, it's you. We just got to find the night that works best. And
how many votes does he have to deposit without
100.
Without losing any?
100. He can't hear me. You have to say it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 100. He's got to do 100.
He's got to deposit all the votes in Gambit without
Gambit
losing
Prime.
a single
In
vote.
Gambit Prime. In Gambit Prime.
No,
You can do it in
Protect the
regular.
Runner is not a Gambit Prime one.
You can do it in either.
You can do it in
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, Gambit Prime would be crazy because it's only one round.
Exactly.
So he agrees with you.
Yeah,
so
do it
you're
in Gambit.
Are you suggesting that he should try it with a team that we build? Are you suggesting that we do it in Gambit and not Gambit Prime?
There's no way in Gambit. Yeah, no, not Gambit Prime. Gambit.
So there we go. So what we got to do, Brandon, is we got to get you. We got to put together a team and find a day when we can do that.
Did they lower that requirement to the changes in Gambit? Because that was my fear. I was so glad I got that done because before they changed how Gambit worked.
No, I don't think it's changed at all. No, it hasn't changed.
Still 100.
Still 100.
Yikes.
Yeah. So Swifty, as far as the mornings go, I don't know if Brandon is up. Well, because of school, Brandon can't get up early to join us for that.
Yeah.
So we'll have to find. We'd have to find either an evening or an afternoon to take Brandon through it. But I do want to get Brandon through 0 hour because I know he'd love it. But
done
both
some of
drafting.
it.
Yeah, what?
I've done some of it.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Solo.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that with a team, it's closer to get it completed.
Yep.
Both Drafty and Swifty both suggested you should try this. You should do this in OG Gambit.
Yeah.
So but we can get a team together. I mean, dude, we can get a team together.
Yeah.
We can definitely get a team together. What about you, Nick? What are you working on?
So, as my birthday present, Brandon finished the Crucible stuff necessary for Invitation of the Nine, number 9.
Which is the thing you want to talk about.
Which I want to talk about. But
unfortunately, I'm one
not
week
yet.
behind.
Should
I leave the room or?
Yes.
No, it's fine. It's better for you to actually see it and have the reaction.
Fair
next
enough.
week,
Fair enough.
On Friday. In terms of specific stuff, nope. I went back, got my Perfect Paradox. I was excited. To do
Congratulations.
the Saint 14 stuff.
Nice.
And I'm over 30,000 on the Triumph score. But no, nothing. I mean, I'm excited for the new season. I got 700, which I'm very happy about. And now it's just
whatever's
dink and
available.
duck around and do my stuff and just try to finish up some of the things. The Chronicler stuff is super difficult. I did finish the Visits to the Queen. So now it's... What did we say it was? I got to do the...
No, you finished the Emissary.
No.
You still have two
I
more.
got to do 2 more for the Queen. That's
Yeah.
right, because I missed it early because I was at
Yep. And then the one after that you missed, or some other random week.
Yeah, the other stuff's Malfeasance and Shattered Throne.
Yep. Which we have to run.
Yes, we do.
We need to get.
Yes, we do.
We need Wish Ender.
Yeah. We can definitely do that. And I would recommend for that. I'd recommend that we try to find some mornings, some Saturday or Sunday mornings where we could run with Marv because Marv has a better understanding of the Shattered Throne, and he can get us through that. I don't mind providing backup. There are certain charges that you have to run to get the Wish Ender, okay. And I don't, like I said, I'm comfortable with the Shattered Throne. I love running the Shattered Throne, but I don't know that specific bits. What about you, Ron? Because we were talking about this. What are you and I doing?
We're working on Reckoner title.
Mm-hmm. And you are. I mean, you're much further into it. You've got.
I've completed the roles for. I've completed everything. Invader and Sentry.
Right.
I figured out a way to do Collector on my own, but Reaper is going to require a team.
Right. You finished 2 of them, right?
I haven't done Triumphant, but I've completed 2 of the sets.
Yeah, I'm real close to.
Which are the same 2 as Ron because apparently we're the same person.
I mean, I've completed all the different goals as far as the time that says "Call me Reckoner," call me Reaper, call me this. That's just a matter of wearing the armor during a win, and that's easy.
Yep.
I play a game as Sentry, so we're going to win, and quickly swapped all to my collector armor, and got the credit for that. So
yeah, I got
it.
I still have a few sets of armors to get and things like that, but I figured I would help Ron when and where I can to help him get to the to recommend.
We really need to get you that armor set, team, before they take away the skull.
Yeah, I know. You're right.
We need to get all that stuff done now before they take away the armor perks.
I know. As for myself, very much like Swifty, I should point out. I still need the Palace Gallo. I still need that.
Hey, strange.
Big Ben Parliament. It's. I ran both the. I've heard it. I thought it was pronounced Gallo, but if you're saying it's Galliot, then I'll say it's Galliot.
It looks like Galliot.
Well, it looks like Gallo to me, but then again, point I'm getting at is that I ran it twice. Once on my Titan, once on my Warlock, and turns out I still do not have it. So I am along with so we're doing a slight change on Titan Tuesday on my stream. For anyone new to chat, it is what I'm doing. It's what I'm doing on my morning and evening streams. On my morning streams, I try to do a theme pretty much every day, and on Titan Tuesday, I usually run my Titan. But what's currently happening is that Obi needs to finish some stuff for his Titan. I need to build up my Hunter because I want to have a third shot at the Shattered Throne in 3 weeks. So we're gonna flip the script, and Ron is gonna run his Titan. I'm gonna run my Hunter, and on Tuesday mornings we're gonna push through Forsaken, just so that we can both unlock the Dreaming City and do what we need to do there.
And then we part ways.
Do what? And then we part ways. Yeah. Drafty already has here's the thing that's been killing me. As a matter of fact, Big Marvinsky said, T, if I could give you the Palace Gallo, I would give it to you.
Is that the only thing you need?
That's all I need. Once I get that, I earn Cursebreaker. That's all I need. But the funny thing is...
Well, Brandon's the one gun away from... What's the thing you're trying to get from Strange Terrain? That's the last thing you need.
Wayfarer, yeah.
I still need the Sleepless rocket launcher from Dreaming City.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a random drop.
It is a random drop, but
I got the Secret Victories emblem, though.
Oh, sweet ass! Nicely done.
I got some weird. Hold on.
But here's the thing I was going to say.
I'm going to look this up.
The thing that isn't. He said to me, I would give you the ship if I could, but because I had to grind 8 months for the Dreaming City Ghost, just suffer. And I said that's not getting the ship isn't what's killing me. What's getting me is the fact that Drafty got it on his first time out. Nova got on his first time out. Biohazard, Jenny's got it. Everybody around me has gotten that freaking ship, and I'm just sitting here. In fact, it dropped for Crazy Kyle. It dropped for Kyle while we were running. It dropped for him, did not drop for me, and it didn't even drop at the end. It dropped in the ogre battle, and I'm just like, "Are you effing kidding me?"
Can I?
So yeah,
ask a question to chat because something random showed up when I got an Ingram, and I have no idea how or what it is.
Oh boy!
So I got the Trader's Fate sword.
Ooh, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, neither do I. And that's why I was trying to figure out what the.
It was a collector's edition pre-order bonus.
Oh, really?
Which he can't use.
Yeah, it says it requires specials such as this or that or the other thing, and I can't use it. So it was that was one, and then the other was I think the other was a
emblem, right?
Was an emblem, yeah. Also, has anybody else had difficulty getting the emblems from
the Revelry?
The Revelry.
No, when you say
Super Celebratory,
that one,
the one that you had to get the reward for.
What are we talking about for the Revelry?
There's only one emblem from the Revelry. You had to finish everything to get it.
No, one of them had a Bungie reward.
It was 150 people defeated with your super, and then there was an emblem, and it actually shows up as available on the collections tab, and then you go to Flare, and then you go to emblems, and then you go to that particular event
Yeah.
one, and it still says plus that it's available, but there's nothing there.
Huh.
Yep.
I didn't know about that. Okay. I mean, I
they
finished
didn't
what
tell me, they were
was
just like,
required
"Here you
Yeah.
for that.
I was kind of hot and cold about the Revelry.
It was the worst Destiny event.
It was
Revelry was great. Great.
Man.
If you could, no, for the first purpose, if you wanted to have a certain armor set build, Revelry was great for that because you could just grind that, get armor until you got the one you wanted. That's what's great about the Reckoning too. The Reckoning, you could grind that so you can get the armor set you want. So I have a linear fusion rifle build set. I have a fusion build set.
By the way,
corrupted.
Nick, earlier shout out to Dredge and Dak.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in chat right now.
Jack is awesome.
Yeah.
Jack.
How you doing there, Acer? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Acer, we might have to talk because I know that Swifty is available in the mornings. What? What's going on?
No, I just thought of him as Drifty goes, I don't go by Acer anymore. I don't go by that name anymore. You can call me Dredge and Dak.
Sister. That's not my name, sister. But Acer, if we are unable to get together in the mornings to run, Acer, is there? How familiar are you with 0 Hour, with the 0 Hour mission?
Good band, 0 Hour, by the way.
What?
Good band.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. Ooh, little ding for them as well. Just in case you're available and you're around and you are, you're able to run for the
Trader's Fate is 210, by the way. So yeah, it was a pre-order.
Yeah. So I was just gonna say, if you're familiar with 0 Hour, just let me know either in Discord or you don't think he's running yet, Swifty? Okay. Well, well, like I said, we're gonna figure out something for Brandon because we got to get him we got to get him at Outbreak. We got to make him run 0 Hour because it is fun.
That's not what I'm focused on.
He wants the dredging.
Yeah. He wants the dredging, of course. So got it, Acer. No problem.
If Bungie were to start making their quests and their triumphs and their bounties more aligned for the objective of the different types of gameplay, I think it would improve the community spirit a lot.
I think that's a good concept. I think they're maybe that'll happen in D3. I think it just feels like they're trying different things. They're trying. What are you doing over there, Obi? I hear something snap.
It's got packing peanuts.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
No, actually, it's a battery case to something I just. Battery.
Fidgeting.
And the fact it's really funny. You can hear it, but I don't because I don't hear it from my headset. It's going through the mic to you,
yeah, it's going through the mic.
Not to me.
Yeah, we hear it. Trust me, we hear it. But that happened on another podcast where we were just hearing this snap, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" And then I was like, "Oh yeah, it was me. Sorry, guys." Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
There it is.
Sorry, I couldn't.
For instance, for what I was saying, like I'm working on the collector. The collector has the medal that you need to get 15 times, I think. It's called half banked, where you have to bank more than half of the bank's capacity.
Yeah.
On your loan. But I figured out a way to make it happen. So now when they say when the person says they're stealing your notes, I'm like, that's fine. Like that's fine. The normal play would be we used to all charge back to the bank, kill the blockers, right, to stop them from draining motes. But I realized if we have 50 motes and I bank 30 of them, if they send blockers and they drain us back down to 0, that makes more room for me to get past. I can easily get past 50 motes back to get that way.
Absolutely.
And so I play if somebody's solo and they see Obi Wan, they're like, oh crap, the game.
So TD does have a question. Does anybody see how power level is actually necessary in Destiny? It's actually a
power level. Power level is the method by which Destiny prevents people from using all the weapons.
That's true. And also people who are not ready for certain challenges or certain quests. Like for example, Black Armory or certain quests.
No, that's. Well, he meant power level, right? Power level or level?
Yeah, light level.
Power level, light level, the same thing,
okay.
Basically. Yeah. So there's that. Well, anyway, I think we're winding down here. But anyway, again, it was a terrific night here. We really appreciate it. Hope you all have had a great time tonight. Remember, if you're new to stream, this is Happy Hour from the Tower live on Twitch. This is the after show because we just finished our recording of the podcast. And if you want to find out more about us, just go to happyhourfromthetower.com. You got, Twitch for Dummies. That's a book that I wrote. If you want to know how to do what we do here, go on ahead and check out Twitch for Dummies. That's you can do command new book, and that's how I got the gig in the first place, was podcasting for dummies. Nick is my best pimp ever.
Strong pimp hand.
Strong pimp hand. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us. We really do appreciate it. Let's go on ahead and let's see
who are we rating.
Who are we rating tonight? First off, let's see who is on, and then we'll
Emperor Callus.
Emperor Callus, you're next on The Price is Right.
Season of Opulence.
All right, let's
Yay,
see.
opulence.
Yay, opulence. Okay, so we're gonna go
Opulence.
opulence. It's a lovely thing. Going to do a quick refresh just to make sure that these people that are saying that are on are actually on, and then we'll take it from there. But again, thanks
that
everybody.
Vice video still up there for
which
months
one?
now? The one that
dude, this is my life. Okay, this weekend I was like, I'm going to actually get some time, sit down and watch it. Nope.
Have you ever considered writing your own memoir?
Yeah,
I think it should be called Life in 62 Tabs.
Yep, that's exactly what I'll call it. Thanks a lot. Suck a fat one, nerd. Suck a fat one, nerd. All right. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna have a great night. We are gonna raid an old friend of mine. This is. Hang on a minute. All right, so let's go ahead and let's copy this, and then there we go. We are going to raid Christiana Ellis. She is one of the original podcasters, and we're going to go ahead and raid her. She is doing her own. She's probably doing a pre Game of Thrones talk show, and she is.
Oh, that's tonight.
Yeah, that's tonight. Shocker, I know, because that's news to you.
Go, Helen.
All right.
Helen of Troy.
I don't know. Like I said, Ron, I only know them by their X-Men names.
Okay, it's Christiana
Speaking of
Ellis.
X-Men, what about the next X-Men movie, the Phoenix one?
Just can't get excited about it. I just cannot.
Really?
Cannot get excited about it.
Good source material.
Yeah, it's great source material, but you know they've been
because she's a Stark. Because she's a Stark. Is that what it is?
No, it's just because I'm just not getting excited about it because they've been dropping the ball and they've been dropping the ball on some X-Men stuff.
We're an X-Men movie, if you count the side movies and everything, like 9 or 10, and nobody has even bothered to try doing Mr. Sinister, and so I'm not interested until they do that.
So this is a topic for another time.
Yes.
Thanks everybody. If you're new to the stream, make sure you click the purple heart. Feel free to sub. Feel free to follow. And I will see you all bright and early tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. for more Destiny here on Gaming with the Team Monster. Until next time, thank you all. We're now going to go raid Christiana Ellis. She is a living legend of podcasting, and I love her dearly. Go on ahead and spread the love, and make sure you copy that message. And we are going to go and raid her. Thanks, everybody. It's been a blast. I'll see you all later. Take care. Peace.